Hello, this is a little video to show you around the Thermomix TM6. Its time as an available machine to buy new is coming to an end, and I know a lot of people are trying to decide what they do, whether they upgrade to this from a previous model or possibly look at using the TM7. So with the TM6, if you're trying to toy up, is this the best option for you? There's a few features that you might like to be aware of. So if you've used a TM31 or a TM5 before it, you have the opportunity to set the time. You can move that up and down, set the temperature, and then this one sets the speed. You can also have the blades going in a cutting direction or in reverse. And you also have a variety of other options. So you can bring up the scales, there's spiralizing, sensor. There's a number of these which either are direct features of the Thermomix or use another component to go with it. So the Thermomix sensor is another separate item. The spiralizer is a separate thing. Dough mode, it is just like what you've had on previous models as well. Pre-clean is amazing and is a way to, it's not necessarily pre-clean, but post-clean, certainly. So we're about to make a batch of gluten-free bread dough in here. So I can't show you right now. We've got the early starting of the yeast and everything getting going. But we will use that after we've prepared meals, dishes, whatever, to help us clean afterwards. So it's like pre-clean in the context of it helps you to get a lot of the grunt work done so you don't have to do as much manually later. You've also got chopping mode. Excuse the whiny dog in the background. Let's see if my phone's going to behave. So you can actually, it's got a variety of different categories under chop to help you pick the time and that sort of thing that is most suited to. So if you want to chop crushed ice, it's going to preset that and then you would be right to go. Again, I've got other things in here right now, so I don't want to put them all over the sides of the bowl right now, but you've got turbo, which has been an option for quite some time. I'm not going to activate it because I've got the other in there as well, but you can change the time to be ½ second or 1 second, and then you would just turn the dial over here and that would get it to go. We can blend, and then so what the blend mode does is it slowly starts to begin with, brings the mixture all together and then goes up to high speed. So use it for smoothies and that sort of thing. Very handy so that you don't have to stand there, you just turn it on and you can go about your day. Otherwise you'd be manually letting it get started and then building up from there. Egg boiler mode is amazing. I use it for egg boiling, but also other things, like I've made apple sauce or apple crumble sort of mix. I do the stewed apple in actually using this feature. So you put eggs in just in the bowl down here, not in the basket, and you select accordingly. There's information up here to help you choose, and so that's other menus. Kettle is pretty self-explanatory. Warm up, so you can warm things up to a certain temperature and it'll stop when it gets there. Thicken is like thickening for whether it's a bechamel sauce or something else. Rice cooking, where you can do ½ kilo of rice in the bowl itself and it comes out perfect, doesn't chop it or anything. Fermentation, so doing yogurts and that sort of thing, it's got the inbuilt options here. Again, information can help you ferment up to 12 hours and so forth. Slow cooking, which is great. I know I've had a number of people who are caravanners and who have limited space but would like to be able to do things like slow cook. So that's definitely an option. You do it within the bowl and it can work its magic while you're doing other things. I personally have not used I think it's pronounced sous vide, butchering that, but anyway, to be able to, it's very self-explanatory and it does give you the opportunity to cook vacuum packed meals and do it for varied temperatures for a varied time, obviously. You've got information within here, but you can also use other recipes to assist. And then again, other tools, peeling, grating, and slicing, they're used through other accessories. So you've got a lot of options within that, within the TM6, and with the upgrade offer, it really lets you, enables you to do these with ease. You don't get every single extra accessory that I've mentioned today, but you do have the peeler, grating, slicing included, as well as the spiralizing. So you've got a Thermomix cutter with the accessory to do the spiralizing as well, and that comes as a part of the bundle. So it's an included extra with the bonus. You also have amazing capabilities of being connected, so you can plan your week ahead. I don't have much on this week in here, but I have had, so I can scroll back to other things that I have cooked in recent times. I can go into one of them, like these ones. It's a family favorite to make choc chip biggies. And so you can have a menu planned and you can start cooking, and this is guided cooking. So for those who may have earlier models and may not have this, you don't have to use it, but I tell you what, it's really convenient, and especially if you're doing a recipe that you're not really familiar with, it saves you having to remember the steps and all that. You just don't miss things quite as much as you might if you're manually reading a recipe book. So for instance, when I do this recipe, I will skip this altogether because I don't have dark chocolate in pieces. I actually have little organic chocolate pieces that are already ready to go. So I skip ahead, don't need to do that. I don't need to transfer it. I just start at this option. So I put in the butter. You can see the integrated scales are here. So we would be measuring in things into the bowl. We would not have yeast growing in it at the time. Put in sugars. Now there's 2 different sugars here. Fun fact, you don't have to use the full amount. I use less and my biggies still work out. I have some I'll show you in a moment actually. And eggs and vanilla. Put the mixing bowl lid on and you mix it for 2 minutes. You add flour. We do these gluten-free and they still work beautifully. So you can see these are all guided, and at this point, the reserved grated cheese, I go in here to the scales and I just measure in my 140 grams of chocolate at that point, put lid on and mix it because it's exactly the same. So you still got the ability, you've still got the ability to tailor this to your needs. You're not locked into having to do it a certain way. I know some people are worried about that with switching from the TM31 to the TM5 or 6 or above. But you really can customize it as you need to as well. Gives you all the baking information, and look, you get the final product. Now, here's some I prepared earlier. I'm gonna do this one-handed and not tip them all over the floor. So these little gluten-free products, they don't really look the same, but also I cut down the sugar and maybe I need to do that so it's in the light. They're not as dark as it looks. The lighting is not great here. But so you can tailor this to your needs and still save you effort, save you time, save you money, save you sanity, because it lets you take some of the decision making out and just simplifies things significantly. I hope you found that helpful, and reach out if you have any questions. Only available in Australia until the 2nd of June for this model of the TM6, sorry. Otherwise, it will be the TM7, which does not have its bowl on right now, at that time. See you later.